Okay, yesterday we left off about clothing, dressing, and so on and so forth. In Torah we find the right is more important than the left. So therefore, when it comes to dressing or washing or anything like that, the right side goes first. Unless if you're a left-handed person, then your left hand is your right hand. So therefore, you would do it with the left hand. But therefore, for instance, when you're putting on a shirt, you're putting on a jacket, you're supposed to put your right hand in first. Then you put the left hand in. When you wash your body, you're supposed to wash the right side first, then the left side. So you wash your right hand first, then the left hand, right foot, left foot. We'll see when we get to the din of washing the head, halachically, because the head is called the rosh of all the limbs, the head of all the limbs. So therefore, you're supposed to wash the head first. So for instance, if somebody's taking a shower, okay, so halachically you're supposed to wash your head first, then your right side, then the left side, right side, left side, what?
Okay, washing constitutes shampooing.
Yeah, shampooing is called washing.
I know, that's why I'm asking. Hoping in case one day it goes back.
Yeah, washing is shampooing. I mean shampooing. Huh? That's what he said, but whatever. Okay, the same thing.
Serious question. What if on that day you don't want to shampoo your hair?
So then you don't have to shampoo your head. If you're washing your whole body, if you're washing your left hand because it got dirty, that doesn't mean you have to wash your right hand because you got to do it first.
What if I just want to soak up and no shampoo, so I still have to wash my head?
Yes. Okay. Now, with shoes, tying is a little different. Tying we find because of tefillin, a right-handed person puts on tefillin on the left hand. On the left hand, right? So therefore, tying left is more important than right. So therefore, if you have shoes that you need to tie, halachically the way you're supposed to put it on is first the right shoe, then the left shoe, tie the left shoe, and then tie the right shoe. Now obviously if you just stick your feet into the shoe and there's whatever, then it's a different story. But when you're tying, then tying goes the left first. Now, when you take off, it's the opposite. Taking off, then you take off the left side first, then the right side. Because again, the what that's more important, you want to keep longer. So with the shoes, you would untie the right, then untie the left, take off the left, and then take off the right. That's the proper way of doing it. So therefore, generally speaking, a person should always do the right side, except when it comes to tying. Now, it's also brought down in Halacha. Halacha says one way, but it's in the Shusterman, it's brought down both ways. You're not supposed to put on two garments at the same time. In fact, it's kosher l'shikcha. It makes you forget your learning. In other Shusterman, it says even to take off two clothing at one time, you shouldn't do. Sometimes people take off their shirt and undershirt just together. So it says in Halacha you shouldn't do it because it makes you forget your learning. But the Aruch HaShulchan and other poskim write, as far as shoes go, it doesn't matter. So therefore they write that you can put on both shoes at the same time. What?
You're probably going to say it's not for now, but I have to ask, what's the correlation between forgetting something and taking two pieces of clothing at the same time?
Okay, now that you said to me it's not, I'm going to say it's not for now. There is a correlation in the spiritual sense. It has nothing to do physically because you're going to put on two clothing and take off two clothing, you're going to forget something. It has nothing to do scientifically with the brain. But spiritually speaking, certain things that it says that if you do them, it's kosher l'shikcha. For instance, it says you eat the end piece of a bread on a loaf, you know, the end piece of a bread. If you eat the end piece of a bread, the end piece, it also makes you forget your learning. The Gemara says if you eat a lot of olives, it makes you forget your learning. But if you put olive oil, because olive oil makes you remember your learning. And olives make you forget your learning. So if you put olive oil on the olive, you're okay. Even if you eat a lot. It has nothing to do with medical or scientific. It's a spiritual thing. certain things that a person does causes them to forget the learning. Okay, next thing we have a concept called yarmulke or kippah. Okay, in Yiddish it's called yarmulke. Why is it called yarmulke in Yiddish? Because yarmulke is two words, yorei malka. The origin of a kippah, a yarmulke, is, the Gemara says that the stargazers told the mother of Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, the famous Rav Nachman of the Gemara was Rav Nachman by Yitzchak. They told her that your son is going to grow up to be a thief. They saw in the stars that he's going to be a thief. So from the time he was born, his mother made sure he covered his head with a covering. He said the fear of God should always be upon you. And he grew up, instead of being a ganef, he grew up to be this great holy tzaddik of the Gemara of Nachman Yitzchak. So therefore it says a person needs to always cover their hair, cover the head. Cover the head. Now, in according to the Alter Rebbe at least, and the Taz, and according to many opinions, this way Sfardim in those countries are a little bit different. They're a little bit more lenient about the kippah than the Ashkenazim are. Well, Ashkenazim also lenient, but they shouldn't be. It says like this. Nowadays, this is what the Taz holds and the Alter Rebbe brings it down. It's in the censored Alter Rebbe. Part of the Alter Rebbe was censored by the government, but it's back already inside the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. And that is that if you don't wear a kippah today, it's because you want to be amongst the goyim. You want to look like a goy. You don't want to stick out with Jewish pride, as they call it. So therefore, you don't wear a kippah, you don't wear a yarmulke because you want to look like a guy. So according to that, it's a din of a then like we said yesterday, then you're following the ways of a guy. You want to look like a guy, you want to mingle with the goyim, and therefore you're not wearing a yarmulke. So the Taz holds and Alter Rebbe holds that too, that if you don't wear a yarmulke today, then you're transgressing a negative commandment of the what?
But if you're in places like Europe, there's a kind of to wear the kippah.
First of all, you can wear something called a cap. It doesn't say you need to wear a kippah. It says you need to have your head covered.
Like wear baseball caps too.
And that's not.
Baseball cap doesn't distinguish you as a Jew. I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter. There's a din. Wearing a suit doesn't either. I mean, but there is a din that you have to have your head covered. Now, in the Middle Eastern places where people anyway cover their hair, they wear those turbans. So therefore, they not wearing a hat is not so much chukas hagoy, and that's why in many places the Sfardim are more lenient with the yarmulke than the Ashkenazim. But the truth of the matter is, they really should be covering their head. In fact, it's Jewish pride today to show that a person is a Jew. When the chief rabbi in France came out a while ago that you shouldn't be wearing kippahs because it was dangerous, the very from people wore kippahs anyway. They wore hats, they wore kippahs. I mean, now, if a person is going to wear a kippah, make a chilul Hashem by doing it, meaning they're going to behave improperly and they're wearing a yarmulke, so then, yeah, they shouldn't wear a yarmulke. What?
You have to wear a yarmulke to sleep.
You have to think about God in your sleep?
You're allowed to.
No, the proper thing is to wear yarmulke. I wouldn't say 24/7 because when you're taking a shower, it's hard to wear yarmulke. But yeah, you should wear yarmulke when a person sleeps also.
What if it doesn't stay on your head
I think it's interesting. It's brought down in Sfarim, not Shulchan Aruch, it's brought down in Sfarim that a person who has Yirah Shamayim, the yarmulke stays on the head during sleep, doesn't fall off. That's what it says. If you have Yirah Shamayim, the yarmulke doesn't fall off.
The Rabbi used to send to the camp
The Rebbe wanted the camp, the council should go around at night to make sure the yarmulkes are on the kid's head. Huh? What did you want to ask?
No, someone asked me.
Okay. But by the way, even those people that don't wear a kippah, when you say Hashem's name, then every opinion says you need to wear a head covering when you say Hashem's name. That's for sure. Okay. That's that. Another din, it says also, you shouldn't walk with your head up, like, haughtiness, a sign of haughtiness. A person should walk, like we learned yesterday, your clothing should be modest attire. So when you walk in the street, it should be a modest walking. And also, by the way, it says, in Shulchan Aruch, but the Rambam says it originally, Chazdeus. The Rambam says, you can tell a person from his walking, how he walks, if he's a smart person, not such a smart person, a fool. You can tell a lot from the way a person walks. Next thing is like this. A man, what?
Or how we drive.
How you drive also. Another din is like this. There's a din in Shulchan Aruch, by the way. A man should not walk between two women. A woman should not walk between two men. It's equal, by the way. A man should not walk between two women. A woman should not walk between two men. You shouldn't walk between two dogs or two pigs. In other words, when you're walking, it says in Halacha, you should make sure, if you're walking with a friend, you should make sure that a dog's not going to come and walk in between the two of you, or a woman, and so on and so forth. Whether this din applies, let's say, to parents and kids and spouses, most poskim say it doesn't apply to them. In other words, you can have a husband in between his wife and a daughter, because it's not strangers, so to speak. It's the husband.
So if you own 2 dogs, you can't take them for a walk, one on this side, one on that.
If you're taking 2 dogs for a walk, yeah, then you can't walk. Huh?
2 wives.
Or 2 wives, yeah. If you're taking 2 wives for a walk, no, we said by wives it doesn't apply. By wives you could. So if you have 2 wives, you could. By the way, if you have 2 wives, you can take them for a walk and walk in between. So?
You're on the date.
So what if it's taped?
Wife, dogs.
Huh?
Wife, dogs.
No, it's men also. Man can walk between 2 women also not.
How about a woman and a dog? Between a woman and a dog?
That it doesn't say.
I was just saying, in the previous year, you said also donkey also. Any trait for animal?
No, it says in Shulchan Aruch, kelev v'chazir. Only.
And all these laws were given to us by Moshe.
Everything was given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. It was revealed as time evolved, then every aspect of Torah. The Rebbe said that many times. Everything in Torah was given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. Certain customs, certain halachas were revealed later on. For instance, Chanukah is a rabbinic mitzvah, but it was given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. It wasn't revealed until the story of Chanukah took place. But the Gemara shows hints to Chanukah in the Torah. So in the Chumash you have hints alluding to Chanukah and things like that. So that's everything's come from Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. But this din is already mentioned in the Gemara. This is not a new din. This is a din long time ago in the Gemara. Okay.
How many people walk to clothing together for that?
Huh? No, you have to understand, in the olden times, now in Beverly Hills you have dogs all over the place. But the truth of the matter is, in the Shtetlach, in the time of the Gemara, even in Shulchan Aruch's time, there are animals all over the street.
Yeah.
But the din was only about dogs and chazerim. Okay.